Hey everybody, it's Jenny, and I am here with you today to share how I planned this week in my classic Happy Planner. There is a look at last week, lots of stamping and soft aquas and oranges, kind of a take on the traditional fall color palette. This week I am going to be working with all Happy Planner stickers and stamps, so hopefully you'll enjoy that. My inspiration comes from that Happy Memory Keeping book. I'm going to be working with only basically a purple and green color palette with a little bit of black mixed in as well, kind of a non-traditional nod to Halloween. I'm looking forward to kind of sticking to the color palette minus orange and yet not making it themey or anything like that. Now you can see I'm taking a look at these stamps. I've used them a bunch of times before. I'm just trying to familiarize myself, make sure that I'm completely like, oh yeah, this is there, this is what I've got. It's been a little while since I have used these, so I am just making sure that I know all of the different things that I have and how those will work in the needs that I have for my planner. So now you can see I have put down sort of the first inspirational piece, which is that beautiful, beautiful flower up in the upper right-hand corner. Those flowers are just so beautiful and I absolutely love using them, though I definitely find myself kind of hoarding them because I like them so much, but no bother. Now I'm going to take this sticker and put it down and then use my ruler and X-Acto knife to trim off that top portion. Now I don't do a perfect job. It's a little bit uneven, but as you guys know me, I'm not really going to worry that much about it. It's in the end, when I've got all of the pieces together and all of the stamping and stickers down, it really is not going to make any difference whatsoever that this sticker is a little bit off. Now I am using a purple Papermate Flare pen this week, which is a little bit different for me. I do typically use only my black one, or every now and again I did use, like a couple of weeks ago, like my rainbow, like a red one for Monday and this, that, and the other. But this week I'm sticking with purple. I figured why not? And quite frankly, I'm not going to lie, I have been really kind of crushing on purple quite a bit lately. So why not embrace it and absolutely use it? Now I've put my to-do list in the bottom box using that checklist. I couldn't even resist because it totally matched the color palette. So I just really found myself wanting to use it. And those little stars, they're so cute. They are in the student sticker book, if I am correct. And I just really like those. I like that they're the outline. I think that they're just cheerful and a whole bunch of really great colors. So I'm very excited by those. Now you will see that I do end up using a lot of items from the student sticker books. They're just really fun and playful. And then there's definitely a few things in there that I'm able to use, like talking about homecoming and games and those types of things, since a lot of my activities and events do center around those types of things, since I do have 3 school-age kids. Now I'm going to go ahead and stamp, and I'm using that stamp, and you can see right there, those are my, what I consider my planner inks, though I could use them on other projects as well. I'm using a really tiny stamp block from Sweet Stamp Shop, and I simply primed the stamp by rubbing it on the back of my hand. If you've not watched my other stamping videos, I do this only with the Happy Planner stamps. They just require a little bit of care in order to get good impressions, but it's very, very simple. It's just rubbing it on the top of my hand. Now I don't do that with my other stamps, such as my Sweet Stamp Shop or Studio Calico, just the Happy Planner ones. So I stamped the 2 bullet points, and then I've written out my activities for those. And I love doing this because it keeps it simple, it keeps it really easy, and it's not overwhelming. So it keeps just the visual, it just, I'm trying to think of the way to explain this. It just doesn't take up too much visual room. So when I use those big stickers and some of those other things, it really makes all of the different activities and events compete with one another. So having a few of those and a few of just the simple bullet points keeps it all just much more not only pleasing for the eye, but also makes it significantly easier to sort through all of the different activities, especially when they're different too. It makes it easier to sort through the different activities. Now I'm going to stamp my to-do list for Wednesday as well, just like I did there on Tuesday, and I've used 2 different types of ink so far. You can see that I've used that green VersaColor, and then I also used the purple VersaFine. Now, if you've seen me stamp before, you know that VersaFine is definitely my favorite, and I traditionally stick to the black, but there are a few other colors, and I do own a few other colors as well. So this week was a really good opportunity to use the purple, and quite frankly, I don't think I own a different purple ink either, so it was definitely necessary for me to use the purple VersaFine, which I am a-okay with. Now I'm using that black sticker right there that kind of goes back to where I'm adding black in just a little bit for my color palette, sticking to that traditional or non-traditional, however you choose to look at it, color palette for Halloween. Now I am going to continue with the stamping, and you saw me prime the stamp by rubbing it on the back of my hand, and then I put some VersaColor ink on it, being careful to not put too much ink and to give it firm, even pressure over the entire stamp. So I know a lot of people have a hard time inking these up and getting them to leave a good impression. It just takes a little bit of care to make sure that you do all of the things, which includes not too much ink, priming the stamp, and giving firm, even pressure throughout the entire stamp. If you do those things while using a stamp block, you really should have success with these. And like I said, they're a little bit harder to use, but they can provide really great results. Now that big one, I love it. It's so wonderful, and it fits perfectly inside the boxes of this Happy Planner, which is the This Is Your Year 2017 planner. And I'm just wiping that one off now with a baby wipe, alcohol-free of course. And you don't have to do that. You could just stamp the excess ink off onto a piece of scratch paper, or you could leave it. I just am very, very messy, and so I know that I would end up with ink all over the place. Now inside of that big box, I'm going to use a couple of smaller bullet points to break those up into more manageable chunks so that the information stays not only easy to access, but just stays organized. Now the page is coming together looking at this overhead shot of it, and I'm really enjoying the color palette. It really is really pleasing to my eye, and I do clearly enjoy the purple and green together. It's just really, really pretty. Now I'm going to use that clipboard for my to-do list for Thursday, and I'm pretty excited about it because it adds that teeny tiny little pop of yellow that's completely probably abhorrent to people that are really traditionalists and sticking to a color palette, but I just like that it changes it up and it gives it a teeny tiny little pop right there in the center. Now I'm continuing to flip through my sticker books, which if you've seen my other videos, you know is kind of a chronic problem for me trying to figure out where all of the different little bits and pieces are. But I'm going to use this sticker and then layer right on top of it not only that game day sticker, but also one of the larger stars that come in the student sticker book as well. That way it gives it not only a really decorative quality, but also covers up the text that I don't need. So I don't need it to say to do or today or note or whatever it said. I just need it to say something about a game. So, and again, I'm not really necessarily picky about what it says, but I wanted it to at least reflect somehow the activity at hand. Now again, more stamping with the bullet points, and the same thing is true, giving it just the tiniest bit of priming and using a high quality ink and firm, even pressure, and keeping in mind not too much ink and not too much pressure. You don't want to push too hard. You'll definitely have some problems there as well. Now it's time to move on to the planning for Friday, and Fridays are always a little bit weird because I have kind of strange, not strange activities, but just sort of, it's kind of a different day than the rest of the week for me, and so I am searching through that student sticker book because I knew there would fit my bill in that sticker book. So the homecoming sticker and then the little pennant for the game, just so stinking cute. I love it, and I love that the colors match and that the fonts are really fun and playful and really reflect the whole feeling of the layout as well. So now I'm going to add my volunteering up at the top, and I'd like to stamp that as well. So just using the small stamp block that I have and putting the little bullet point up there just to be able to notate the volunteer activity. Now I am going to go through the mom sticker book and pull out one of those game day stickers. I've been kind of maybe not using those as much recently just because I kind of wanted to, I don't want to say hoard them because that wasn't it, but there's not that many of them in the book, and so I like to make sure that I really use them where they count. And so I'm pulling the green one out and putting it in Friday afternoon and then writing with my purple pen. And it turned out so cute, and I'm so happy with it. And I think it was a really good choice to use it right there. Now, obviously, the Thursday and Friday, they feel really sticker heavy because I did use a couple of 3 of those bigger stickers right there in the middle, but I feel like the whole thing is kind of going to balance itself out in the end when I'm completely finished. So now I'm going to take this to-do sticker and I'm going to use my X-Acto knife and cut it in half because I don't need the entire sticker. And then I'm going to go ahead and place it down, overlapping ever so slightly. And then I'm going to do the same technique that I did on Thursday by covering the words with the star and the game day sticker. I only have games to notate, or at least that's what it feels like. And so I'm going to just cover up the text because, quite frankly, I'm not sure there could ever be enough of the specific sticker that I need. Maybe the same is true for you. I would imagine it's true for most people because it would be very, very hard for a company to come out with one specific sticker for the frequency that we use them. And then I'm just using my mono twin pen from Tombow to write the activity on there since this is a glossy sticker and I do need that little permanent pen to make sure that there's no smearing. This is my favorite permanent pen. Not only do I just love the tip, which I genuinely love the tip, it's dual-sided, so if you have a sticker where you need to write a little bit bigger, there's a slightly thicker tip, and then there's that nice fine tip for all of your ordinary size stickers as well. So you can see I have added another little sticker, and how cute is that one? I don't know what it is about it, but the little notebook page in the green is so cute, and I'm able to, again, cover up the text that I don't need, and I will just continue to write my activities. Whoops, there's my head. Every now and again I need to get into the frame, I guess. So now I'm just going to write that game activity with the same Tombow Mono Twin pen, and I have answered this question before for other people. Yes, it's a little bit pricier than just your average Sharpie or whatever, but it's really like getting 2 pens in one, and it just really, the tip is wonderful. It just writes so well, and I absolutely love it. So now you can see I stamped that giant box again down in the Saturday evening portion, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use 2 little bullet point stickers to take care of the information that needs to be noted here, just to make sure that they don't get lost in, you know, having all of the information and it not being broken up at all. So that's the benefit of having something, using little bullet points, is that I can use a giant stamp like this and still make it work for more than one activity. Now you can see I'm going to do a little bit more stamping. I primed the stamp and then I inked it with my VersaFine, and then I simply stamped that little bullet point up in the top box on Sunday. And so now I am writing in my activity and it's looking pretty good. The week came together pretty well and I feel like it looks the way that I wanted it to, or I had sort of envisioned that it would. And then the last thing that I really need to do now is just add the tiniest bit more decor and pull it all together. So I'm going to put a couple more clusters of these smaller flowers just for the nice little visual triangle, and then that's it. Thanks so much, guys, for stopping by and watching my video. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the box below, and I will do my very best to get back to you. Thank you so much, and make it a great day.